What's going on, everyone? Hope you had a wonderful holiday. Today is New Year's Eve. Since it's the new year, what better topic to discuss New Year's resolutions? Believe it or not, that's how I got started in this entire process. Really long story short, it goes back to 2009, 2010. I'd kind of been starting to figure some things out, do a little bit more research online, and I was playing around with some things towards the end of 2010. It was kind of towards December. It was the end of the year. And I said, you know what? I figured a lot of things out. I'm starting to put this equation together. Why don't I go ahead and make up a competition diet plan? And then at the start of the new year, you know what? If my heart's really in it, go ahead and give this a shot for about 16 weeks and we'll see if I can hack it or not. That's how it all got started for me. I did a 16-week competition diet regimen that I had kind of figured out myself, and I stuck to it. There were a couple of pitfalls. There were a couple of times where I made a mistake or I fell off the wagon, but I unlike the past, instead of just giving up, throwing your hands up and just giving up, I ended up moving forward and getting back on that proverbial wagon and continuing with it. And that's how I got started. I figured what a better way to start the new year, especially 2021. I don't know about you, but I'm ready for 2020 to just be done. I'm ready for tonight at midnight and to go. It's new year. Screw 2020 at this point. Let's go to 2021 and let's be hopeful. So I figured what a better topic for today on New Year's Eve than to give advice to resolutioners on what has worked for me and how I was able to succeed, and principles that I've from that period of time I've taken and I've used ever since, and that have helped me ever since. Because it never ends. If this is a lifestyle for you, these have got to be principles that are perpetual. They don't ever just go away. If they go away, well, then eventually you fall off the wagon and you don't get back on, and you fall back into the old ways and the old habits. My first piece of advice to resolutioners, so that you find a better success, is baby steps. You'll find as you move throughout a goal making and goal obtaining process that it's not point A, point B. If point A is the starting point and point B is where you want to finally end up, what you find is it's point A to point B, C, D, E, F, and so on and so forth, and then to whatever that final goal is. And what you find is you make little goals along the way to that larger goal. I've been there. I've done that where you try to go from point A to point B, and along the way there's no plan. It's just, I want to get here. Sometimes you just peter out. You don't have anything to fall back on. Best example from me was when I first started this plan. It wasn't to go from mild-mannered Matt Morawski to professional, natural, competitive bodybuilder. It was, okay, how do I get from here to here? Well, let's start with this. Let's look at my problem areas. For example, I'm eating fast food. I can't do that. So the first goal was to cut out fast food. And once I had mastered that goal, then I made the second goal on the road to that overall, which was, okay, now that I figured out fast food, now I need to cut this out. And you keep moving that direction until finally where I was at a place where I said, okay, I've mastered all this. I feel really confident. Now let's shoot for this end goal here, which is to do a competition diet and to see if I can hack it, because I feel confident with that now. So that's my first piece of advice. Make smaller goals on the way to that larger end goal. My second piece of advice for your resolution and finding success with that resolution, whatever that is to allow yourself some freedom. Try not to be so rigid. And that's a problem with a lot of the resolutions is they go from this, I'm going to start here, to complete perfection. I'm going to be perfect. And you're going to find that's not the case. So you've got to get rid of the rigidity and you've got to find something that's a little bit more flexible. So be flexible with yourself. Allow yourself some freedom. Make a plan to reward yourself for doing well for a couple of weeks. The point is, though, make a plan. Don't just say, on this day, I'm going to eat whatever I want, because that can be a problem. I've been there. Don't be so restrictive on yourself that you don't allow yourself any freedom, but do put some restrictions on a reward program, whatever that is. Reward yourself. It's very important. It gives you something to shoot for, and it keeps you motivated and before and even afterwards. So, which leads kind of into that, my third piece of advice, which is shoot for progress not perfection. We talked about trying to be perfect. I have a saying I like to use. It's humble enough to realize I'm not perfect, but ambitious enough to strive for perfection regardless. So the most important thing you should shoot for with your resolution, and the most important mindset to have, is progress. You're making progression in your life. Life is about perpetual progression. It's not about one day you snap your fingers and you're perfect. If it was that easy, what's the point of life? I mean, you'll get up every day and you'll know exactly what's coming your direction because you're perfect. So shoot for progress. Shoot for bettering yourself every day. Every single day. Look at it this way. This is my own personal mantra. Every single day, I will shoot for as many steps forward as I possibly can, but I will at least shoot for that one step. If that's all I take, great. I've made progress, which synchronistically then leads into tip number 4. Just accept you're going to make a mistake. It's going to happen. I mean, I've been doing this for 10 years and I still screw up. I still make mistakes. A lot of people who make resolutions are in this mindset of, I can't make a mistake. I have to be perfect. It's not how it works. Because the problem with that mentality is, if you go in thinking perfection and you can't make a mistake, when you do make a mistake, the whole thing goes out the window. And before you know it, it's over. So go into it understanding and accepting that something's going to happen. The point is, recognize when it does happen, forgive yourself for that mistake, and then you have the power at any point to stop, press the brakes, and pick right back up where you left off. Notice how these are all kind of tying in together. It's about progression. It's not about perfection. So accept that you're going to make a mistake. Brush yourself off when you do, and keep moving forward. And finally, the most important tip, once again, it ties into everything and it all kind of comes full circle. When you fall off the wagon, get back on the wagon. This is where a lot of people completely trip up and falter. They make a mistake, they throw their hands up in the air, and they just give up. Like I said, it's been 10 years. I still make mistakes. One of the most important principles, brush yourself off, get back on the wagon or the horse or whatever it is that you've fallen off of, and keep moving forward. That's the most important thing. So that's my own personal advice to those making New Year's resolutions. If you want to find success, if you follow these principles and these guidelines, it's going to give you a much better chance to work towards those goals and then reach wherever you want to do. For most people, it's a health and fitness thing. It's not just that though. That's for anything. What you'll find is, and this is how it started with me, it goes from a health and a fitness perspective to a life perspective. It's not just, I don't just look at these guidelines that I've given out today as just a bodybuilding thing. It's a life thing for me now. It's in anything I do, whether that's my career, personal growth, relationships, whatever it is. What you're going to find is these things apply to everything that you do in life, and they're going to help you. Once again, hope you had a great holiday season. Hope you're ready to start off 2021 with a bang. I know I am. I'm ready to go. Let's do this thing. As always, my thanks to you who support the channel. We're going to continue to move forward with this thing. We're going to continue to grow it. I'm still, even, it's been about a month, I think, since I started this. I'm still just stoked about the direction this is going. This is great. Love it. If you like the video, throw me a thumbs up. If you have any questions or you want to chime in or throw some more advice out there for people, please comment on the video. Share with those you think might find some success. And if you're finding value from the channel, I'll throw a button up here right now. So all you got to do is click on it, subscribe. Have a happy new year. And once again, my thanks.